Ah, man, why am I
Okay,
having
here we
glitchy run
are
thing now?
for
Fuck's sake.
the Sunday League Japanese Grand Prix. It is week 7 of season 12 here. We're looking at Kubo rolling around the first corner. As well, Anti-Amazing looking for a hot seat. But it's Marion Frias coming off 2 wins in a row for FGR, looking to three-peat. It's not been done in quite a while. A lot of new drivers here, reserve drivers. Charge JT in for the RMC. We've got Matamar in for LSA, or Scuderia Percaro, I mean. The LSA reserve driver in for Scuderia Percaro. We've got Kader, the FGR reserve, in for Flow Force as well. And Tomatoes, who is, I don't know if Tomatoes is anyone's reserve driver. Yeah, he is the BAR reserve driver in for BAR. The only reserve driver seemingly in his proper team. Well, Danimator as well in for Mayhem. So lots of reserves in today. A lowly attended full-time driver race. The first lap, Marion Frias with a 33.80, bested by Anti with a 33.70. We have one more qualifying lap remaining. 33.70. Can anybody do better? Anti-Amazing, a 10th ahead of Marion, the only sub 34 laps so far. Here he comes around the penultimate corner. Anti-Amazing, able to improve? No. 34.07. Marion Frias stays in second place. Sobel and Hernandi tying with the LSAs on the second row. So Anti keeps pole. Marion Frias in the front row. Hernandi and Sobel, the LSAs, locking out row 2 with a 1/100th difference. Danimator Q5. Amazing result for the under-practice semi-retired driver this year. Kubo in P6. And then Pamushis and Charge JT in the fourth row there. Charge JT really shining early on in the season's. Tomatoes with a 34.13. Also with a 34.13 is Corbett in 10th. And also with a 34.13 is Rosine in 11th, who will start in front. We will have to find out in just a minute. In 12th, Grandy, 34.17. And then we have Kraft starting for Lynx Racing in 13th. That's the top Lynx driver, a little bit lower than what they would have hoped for. Kader making his reserve appearance for Flow Force in 14th. Not bad for him. Ahead of Matty Marr, the other reserve in for Scuderia Percaro. And then we have Jaruni all the way down in 16th for RMC. That's a bit of a surprise in here. In 17th, and Guetzley wrapping it up in 18th. A full second
Guys,
and
Globby says it's full.
1.05. Back off the pace there.
The lobby says it's full.
Yeah, not much we can do there. Unless
lobby.
we make a new law.
And here we are, Anti-Amazing on the front row. We are ready to go in Yokohama. It is the Japanese Grand Prix. Lights are out and we are off. It's Anti-Amazing over Marion Frias, Sobel, and Hernandi, the LSA's. Danimator looking to squeak in there, and Kubo and Pamushis are back to back. Tomatoes is pushing up Charge JT, but he catches a little bit of grass. Kubo off on the grass. He slides down. Anti holds the lead, and Kubo shoots up in front of Hernandi, and he's after Sobel for third place as well. Marion Frias staying way outside. Urus down into last place now. Tomatoes and Pamushis sweeping wide. Danimator loses a lot of positions there, and Kraft takes a bit of grass. Kubo sideways with Hernandi off of the track. What has happened there between the drivers? It's Sobel now out in front. Anti-Amazing. Then Pamushis looking on the outside. Tomatoes takes off Marion Frias. Gets a penalty for Charge GT off the grass as well. Just chaos in this first lap. Rosine, Danimator, Grandy all in an incident here. And we are finally into the second lap. I didn't think we'd make it. Anti-Amazing still out in front, but he's going to get pushed wide by Pamushis too. Oh, really big pause from Nandy after getting pushed, or by Anti-Amazing after getting pushed by Pamushis. He's lost a lot of positions. Pamushis And, oh, Marion Frias bumped off Anti-Amazing off the track. He's lost the lead. I can't keep up. Too much is happening. What is going on here in Japan? It's Pamushis now out into the lead. And Corvid's made his way all the way up into third. Sobel looking good on the hard tires right now, holding out. And Katter, the amazing progress up into third place. It's Katter, the FGR reserve, ahead of both of the full-time drivers. We've got more action way in the back here. Kubo leading Kraft, and then we have a big group. Urus is in sixth. Anti-Amazing, again, he's all over the road. Anti-Amazing takes a lag, and he takes about 3 drivers out with him. He's going to fall down into 16th place. He's into the pits with the Animator. They got to get out of that chaos. Marion Frias has lost all the way down to 9th place now. Tomatoes has dropped back as well. After being up there in about 3rd or 4th place, Urus working his way back up through the grid. Kraft, then Kubo, Corvid, Sobel, Katter, and Pamushis. We are starting to finally catch a breath and have some semblance of order here in Yokohama. And Oka, oh my. Let me catch my breath here. Pamushis pushing off Sobel almost. They do keep it clean though. Katter makes a mistake. He's got really worn softs. They do not last long at all here. Pamushis defends Sobel on those worn out softs. Sobel and Corvid are definitely going to be the benefactors as they do have the better tires and the grip. Pamushis is going to fall off. You're going to look to see Corvid head past Pamushis probably before this lap is done. He's going to be heading into the pits though. Kubo and Katter were battling side by side there, the flow forces. And Kubo should be coming in soon as well. He's going to stay out for a 6th lap though. Hanandi looking outside, inside. Kraft taking a nice slipstream on both of them. We have some drivers in. Katter, Grandy, Maddimar and Rosine just coming back up onto the track now. Oh, Pamushis getting passed by Sobel outside. Corvid's going to get by him too. I'm surprised Pamushis didn't go into the pits, but Corvid's going to get by him with the grip, and it's Sobel and Corvid out front, and this is going to be really tough to take this away from them. Corvid looking to get into Sobel's slipstream. Not sure why he took it. He probably was side by side with him on his screen. That's why he wasn't able to take a slipstream, but he is closing the gap. It is less than half a second. Let's look back a little bit more down the order. Urus currently running in 3rd place. There are 3 drivers behind him who've not yet pitted, like him. Jiruni leading a pack of those drivers. Pamushis with the soft, fresh tires out there, going to be getting by Jiruni right there on the final corner. Doesn't take a lot of grass. Charge-AT, small mistake, but he's up in 7th quite comfortably. And an incredible performance from Guetzi right now, being able to push by, I mean, probably not all of the incidents, but a good amount of the incidents, and he's stayed clean thus far. Some big losers out today. Tomatoes down into 18th position. He does have a fresh set of hards on, so he'll be working his way up. Marion Frias behind almost every single driver right now. She's going to have to work really hard and be very careful to get back up. The pole sitter, not looking great either. Anti-Amazing in 13th, slowly working his way up. He took a very early pit stop with the Animator to try and lose some of the traffic. It hasn't really worked out for them. The Animator's back in 16th. Here, Anti's fighting. Maddimar is doing a really good job to stay clean in between the two drivers of Anti and Rosine. And Rosine, I think he'll be looking at his 2nd set of softs soon already, yeah. So really not a great track position net with the tire changes for Rosine either. Sobel into the pits. Pamushis with a 2.5 second lead over Katter right now, who's performing exceptionally, a 3rd and a 4th place in the Challenger League races. The former JL champ of last season has already put on a heater here as he goes a little bit off track, but keeps it fairly fast with Sobel. They must have pushed each other through that mistake, as we see Corvid chasing them down in the FGR. Grandy in the NTH, really good spot. He's had a couple struggles lately, but a 2nd place to his name this season as well. So bit of an up and down year for Grandy. Some solid top 10s, but coming off a 15th place finish. 8th and 9th as well on the year. Kubo pretty much getting P4 every other race here. Going to put a pass on him, and Andy gets past Grandy as well as Grandy touches a little bit of grass, and Kraft is going to stay in the slipstream and wait for more mistakes as Grandy makes yet another mistake. He's got really worn out tires. He might be good to get in, and he does so. Kubo and Andy side by side as Kraft looks at the slipstream just ahead of them. Corvid slipstreams Catter for the pass. Is he going to be able to do it? This is a really tight chicane section to do it on, but he goes outside and he's got it for now. These are two very high ping drivers, a Colombian and an Australian, near as far abouts as you can get from this European server on the track, racing each other hard. It is danger. Sobel, big mistake, allows Pamucius to pull ahead. This is fantastic. Pamucius has not gotten higher than P4 yet this season. His podium streak came to an end last year, getting a podium at least every season. I believe it was a Giruni in last place right now. Looking at the back of Danimator, very surprising. Mayhem not getting any luck this year, even when Danimator is in, not Mark Andrews, who's missing this race. Matamar in for the missing Rams as well, ahead of both of the drivers. They're getting tangled up and into each other, keeping life difficult at the back. Tomatoes, then Guetzley streaming Rosine in 12th place, and Kraft still outside of the top 10 as Catter and Charge JT battle it out now. Catter, of course, on his brand new mediums. He's going to want to keep it clean around Charge JT's mistake, and Charge JT, you may argue, might be the faster driver these days, but admittedly not as strong on this track, losing out to Kubo in the CL race. Of course, now Kraft by charged as well into the top 10, and he's going to look at a pass on Catter. Well, he's got the softs, and he's probably going to be able to do... Oh, Kraft is ahead. Again, now Charge JT, a little bit of grass. They're really, really tight on each other. Kraft and Urus, the links side by side right now. They're going to not want to battle each other, but Urus had to peel in off the wide track to get into the pits. Kubo into the pits as well, coming back out in 10th with fresh mediums. He's going to have great net track position. Charge JT just rubbed off the track again. That's probably going to be the ping difference. Just not seeing Catter in the same spot. Kraft now in the sights of Catter as he works his way on up. Marion Frias has recovered quite nicely to 6th spot. Was way down in about second last place, but she's going to have to come in for another set of tires, and she'll do that right now. So she's going to lose back out. Really disappointing for her on the start. Kraft and Catter battle out really, really close. Grandy looks like he's going to be catching up to this pack as Corvid leads the race right now over Pamucius, but Pamucius definitely has much better tires. Corvid's going to have to get into the pits soon too. So this is the fight for the lead right now. It's Sobel ahead of Pamucius. Hanandi ahead of Grandy with a little bit of space between them. And Corvid is going to stay out for another lap. He's going for an overcut. This could be very, very interesting. I don't know how much longer he can stay out, but he will have clean tracked race on when he does come back out, because he's going to probably come... Oh, there might be that big pack of that P7, P6 that he does get caught in. But for now, he's getting caught by the proper race leader and has a big, big mistake. Trying to do some avoiding action ended up costing him some time. So, Sobel with a gap to Pamucius now, but Sobel's tires will wear out faster. They may be looking to be pitting around the same time, so if Pamucius can keep it clean here, he may be able to keep hold of chances of leading this race yet again. Tomatoes, as we go through the order, into the pits. Danimator and Matamar. Charge JT out by himself. Rosine, Giruni, Anti, and Urus all in a pack there, battling for, well, not much, but they are points. Everybody gets points in UL, no matter what. So every battle is important. Anti looking outside and inside. Guetzley has been pushed back to the top 10, but it is still a fantastic position for him yet. Grandy, then we have an FGR sandwich, Corvid, Nandy, and Marion Frias. We're looking at fresh tires for all three of those drivers. Relatively, Marion Frias a little bit worn on the softs. They do not last very long, so she's going to want to get ahead very quickly as Kubo heads beyond Catter into what? It's P3 for Kubo right now. still has his sights on that ever-evasive podium. Catter off the grass, Corvid and Nandy getting past him. This is going to be a really, really tense couple laps here with this pack. Marion Frias needs to slipstream and stretch out those tires. They are worn. They do not have the grip. But with this many drivers all ahead of her, she can't miss a slipstream. She can't. They're covering the entire track, so she cannot miss a slipstream. She's going to get by Catter. She's going to get by Kubo. Corvid and Nandy push forward and push past. It's going to be really, really tight corners here for Corvid to stay ahead of Nandy. His tires are going to start dropping off soon too. Pamushis takes his softs, and Pamushis comes in the track at a net P7. So he's in great shape right now with that pit stop in hand. He's going to start catching Grandy already. Grandy's going to be about a pit stop behind him. Kubo's got to get in soon too, as does Marion Frias. Corvid and Nandy have a little bit more time to put some pace and put some distance between them and the top of the non-podium sitters. Okay, Sobel will have to head in for the pits soon, but is nursing a near 7-second lead. Absolutely incredible spot for him to be in. What we're going to pay attention to is Pamushis when Sobel comes in for his pit. Corvid doing a nice job to stay in the slipstream of Nandy still. Nandy asking for him to slipstream him. He will do it. They just have to use a little bit of strategy, but I don't think those tires are holding at all for Corvid. He's going to lose the slipstream. Grandy is going to make a little bit of progress in him. We don't know who's going to go for an undercut. It's Marion Frias. Marion Frias is in. Pamushis is in P7. Sobel is out of the pits, well ahead of him. He has him way covered off. So Sobel has blown by Pamushis in the last stint, and now he leads this race outright. And Nandy has used that LSA opposite tire strategy to allow them to slipstream each other. Sobel's now here with fresh soft tires, and Nandy has half-worn hards, and he wants to stretch those hards into some soft pace. And he is the only one who was able to get the slipstream. Corvid lost it. Grandy lost it. Pamushis was nowhere near it. And another LSA masterclass in the works here. Sobel and Nandy, 1 and 2. They are your leaders. Sobel, a small mistake. Nandy is going to look just outside, but he's not going to pass him. Why would he pass him? Sobel's got these nice, soft, fresh tires. Pamushis is getting a little bit close, but at this pace that Sobel's got, and this tire wear, 24 of 43 laps gone in Okayama. God damn it. LSA is looking for another 1-2. They had a 1-2 back on their second race of the season. Max points. They had a double podium last week in India, and Nandy goes for a little sneaky pass. I mean, it's only when there's a mistake would he do it. He's just looking to stay in that slipstream. But he's going to lose it, actually. He makes a mistake himself, and Sobel's also allowed to peel back a bit. But we've got to have some more tight battles here. Now, this is a great spot for FGR to be in. Marion Frias following in the softs, about 5 seconds back of the podium sitters, but a 4-5 is what they want to be working on, as Grandy's trying to interrupt and interfere with that. He has a little bit better tires, so he's going to go for the pass inside on Marion Frias. P4. He takes a slight amount of grass. Marion Frias does a double turn there, and she's going to get the other chicane, and she's still clean. Grandy in the slipstream. Now he might go for a pass in the straight. Nandy and Pamushis into the pits for the change. We will not see whose strategy is going to prevail until maybe the last stint, as now the LSAs have, well, Nandy has slid back, but he's on to new hards once again. Marion Frias currently in P2. Not really in net P2, but Grandy staying there, being a menace right there, back and forth, trying to get into that slipstream and past her at the same time. It's proving a little bit difficult. Grandy coming up right in front of Sobel. Okay, Sobel has the lead. Now, this is where these drivers can try and stretch out their stints and even up this tire strategy a little bit with the rest of the pack, mainly Nandy, who's going to be racing in P2 after they come out of the pits. He's already caught up to them in the hards. Marian Frias in Sobel's slipstream, but with that grip is going to lose it. The grip is suffering. Will she go into the pits early? I'm not quite sure. She does. Grandy stays out. Nandy pushes off Corvette a little bit, but he's still got the slipstream. Grandy's out for an extra lap on the softs. Will it hurt him or will it play an advantage? An overcut on Marian Frias could prove enough to grant him a podium if he can be out before her when he comes around on his next pit stop, which probably will be this lap. Corvette chasing Nandy, trying to do the same thing, saying that slipstream, but he's starting to lose a little bit of grip too. He hoped for a mistake, a little bit of a dive bomb there, and he's right up against the side of Nandy. He's still got faster tires, so why not go for it? He's got, and an inside-out move on Grandy, almost pushes him out of his pits, missing the pits. That's going to cost Grandy some time, and I'm going to say it right now. That is not an overcut. Marian Frias gets the undercut done. A little mistake there, but now chasing Kraft, who's worked his way into P5 nicely. Gonna have to take a pit stop, but still excellent to see him up there. Kubo fighting now with fresh soft tires in 8th place. Catter trying to stay and slip on some of those worn hards. And running in a top 10 though. Absolutely incredible. Anti-Amazing finally working himself back into the top 10 after that unfortunate mistake, and it's a little bit of a push pass. He's got it down, and right up against Catter again. That's going to be ping issues for sure, as Catter flips and blips right off the screen there. And just like that, Kraft has passed him, and Catter is now in P10. Danimator back into P11. The RMC sitting in 11 and 12, a bit disappointing on the day for sure. Gwetsley not able to hold on to his good start, back in 14th place, and Rosine, or 15th place I should say. Rosine having a bit of a struggle this season. Few bad finishes here. 17th, 12th, and 14th his last 3 races. Definitely a lot left to be desired for a disappointing season for Mayhem after being champions. Urist, Madimar, and Tomatoes. Another big loser today. Urist was right up there in the top 5, fighting for a podium at one point, but not able to make it working, unable to convert. We've got 11 laps left. Sobel has a 4-second lead. He's going to have to get in as it gets cloudy for new tires soon. Will the rain come at an opportune time for him to nurse that 5-second lead, 4-second lead? Or will he put fresh tires on and gamble with other drivers being able to benefit from a rain change? If it comes, it is going full cloud now, so it is a rain risk at this point. Pamucius is on. The medium tires really, really worn, which is going to allow Marian Frias to stay in slipstream and potentially get in a pass. He's into the pits, and a very, very slight amount of ghost rain just came and went there, and it was not at the time that Pamucius would, of course, change his tires, thank goodness. So he's able to put on a pair of hards, and he's going to go the distance for the rest of the race on those hards. Marian Frias could probably get away with mediums. Sobel has put on hards. He's good to go for the rest of the race. Marian Frias should be into the pits next lap, I imagine. Maybe for some softs. Let's take a look at the strategies. Grandy, a little bit better tires than Marian, but Kubo, a little bit better tires than Grandy. Kraft, Pamucius, and Corvid here in 6th, 7th, and 8th. Corvid is going to be very, very hard pressed to stretch another set of softs to the end. It's probably going to be he's got a few laps left on these softs, so yeah, he will probably be going for softs to the end. Pamucius taking these hards to the end, and Kraft is probably going to be looking at another set of softs if he can go long enough, if not mediums, which is what Marian Frias has just opted for. And she comes back on the track into 7th place. Kraft is going to have to get off those for another set of softs. that will take him out of the top 10, probably momentarily, if not for the race. Side by side, Corvid and Pamushis. Now side by side, Kubo and Pamushis. The switchback is open for Corvid, and he takes it inside, outside, inside on Pamushis on those hard tires. Is he able to get it done? Not quite. Pamushis has got the absolute best line. Marion Fries and Kubo get caught in each other a little bit. Kubo peels in for his last pit stop. This is going to give a chance for FGR to pull away a little bit with that BAR car in Pamushis, who's sitting in P2. Look out for Hernandi. Oh, they make a mistake. They get tangled up, and here comes Nandy. Nandy's got the fresh medium tires, so he has the pure advantage for an LSA 1-2. What we're looking for here is if any of these other drivers in the two FGRs and the BAR are able to stay in that slipstream, but Corvid and Pamushis riding each other into a lag rocket is going to ruin that chance, and Corvid comes in for his last set of probably going to be softs, I imagine. And yes, it will be. Yes, it will. So, Corvid, one of the final drivers to be onto new tires. He's going to have a lot of work to do, but it starts now, and here comes the climb. Marion Fries and Pamushis still battling, allowing Nandy to slip away and probably hunt down Sobel a little bit, I would imagine here. I wonder if there'll be enough. There's 6 laps to go. 5 laps to go. Nandy and Sobel leading the way. Marion Fries. Grandy now ahead. Grandy on those waning soft tires. This is really going to hurt his chances probably, I'm afraid. A slipstream pass on Marion Fries for the time being, but his tires are almost worn out already. It is going to be a really, really tight finish for Grandy to get those softs all the way to the end. I'd definitely rather be on those mediums, or perhaps even the hards, as Pamushis is, slipstreaming both of them. Grandy in P3 so far, momentarily, but Kubo is being chased down by Corvid and Kraft, who's gone in for some soft tires. And Kubo's got the same tires as Kraft does. And look at this, ain't he amazing? Into the top 10 now. Battling on a brand new softs. He's going to have a huge tire advantage, so look out for Anti-Amazing to chase down the likes of Kraft if his tires get too worn out. Kubo and Corvid now giving chase to Pamushis, whose tires are dying out, to Marion Fries, whose tires are dying out, and Grandy, whose tires are really going to start dying out fast. Hernandi and Sobel have the advantage right now. Just 2 laps left for Sobel. After he gets done here, his hards are really starting to slide. Hernandi in the pursuit. Nandy yet to win a race this season. Sobel with 2, but Nandy does have more podiums. Well, I suppose they've got 9 podiums between the two of them. 4 and 4, 8. They've got 2 each. My mistake. A missed race by Nandy, coming in the way of that stat probably. And Marion Fries makes the move now on Grandy. Here it is for 3rd place. It would be 3 podiums in a row for her. It looked like Grandy may have pulled out a little bit on that battle, which is smart, trying to preserve that P4. He's going to have to battle Pamushis as well, but he's got the better tires. Pamushis is going to charge by him. Grandy just may have miscalculated by a lap or 2 on those soft tires. Sobel, 3 seconds ahead of Nandy. It's not going to be enough. Sobel's going to cruise to the win, and Nandy looking to make it a 1-2 finish for LSA in Japan. Grandy and Pamushis battling hard, battling close. Clouds are on their way, but it really doesn't matter. Here we have Sobel rounding the penultimate turn and the ultimate turn, and he is going to be your 3rd race win of the season. Japanese Grand Prix winner Nandy and Marion Fries rounding out your podium. 3 podiums in a row. And Pamushis taking his personal best. Kubo, Corvid, Kraft with a P8. Nandy Amazing in P9. And it looks like Charge JT just squeaked out a P10 over Danimator. What a strategy. Fight to the end. We stayed dry the whole race. And it looked like the LSA cooperation wins it once again. FGRs were on two similar of a tire strategy to get it to work for them, so I believe that's why they were not able to make it go. Grandy, of course, working up there with Pamushas all by themselves with no team support. Sobel by 1.82 seconds over Nandy, your final winner, Marion Frias, and the fastest lap going to her as well with a 33.73. Excellent. And Pamushas taking P4. Grandy with a P5 on the season. Grandy has a P2, so this is his second best finish of the season. Cubo down in 6th, looking for more as always. Wasn't able to quite get it this race. Corvid in P7. He's had some struggles this season, not getting that podium that he's had his sights on to repeat from last season. Kraft also performing well for Lynx. That'll be his second best finish of the season. P8, Anti-Amazing. One of his worst performances yet again coming this season. He's got a win, but he also has his worst place finish and a P9 today. Really having some trouble early on in those incidents. Charge JT grabbing another top 10. He's broke out into this UL very nicely. Danimator and Rosine, the Mayhems, stacking it up in 11th and 12th. Not really good for their past, but for their present season, not too bad. Catter in 13th with his breakout reserve performance for Flow Force. Tried to reserve for them way back in season 9, I believe it was, with an unsuccessful start. He gets some redemption and not a bad result either. Girouni in 14th for Rapid Motorsport. Scuderia Pericaro putting in Guetzley in 15th. Urist, the Lynx Racing driver in between the two Scuderias. Matamar ending up in 17th. And Tomatoes reserving as well. Lots of reserve drivers for British Aerial Racing in 18th. That is it. I am Goose on behalf of all the commentary squad here. This has been Season 12, Round 7, the Japanese Grand Prix. We'll see you next week in Singapore.